the history of our nation.
Trump wins the presidency.
1916, the string bags of the First World War.
Scheinbar andere Interessen wie die
Carl Edward Sagan was born in Brooklyn, New York, on 1934. His father, Samuel Sagan, was a garment worker. His mother, Rachel Molly Gruber, was a housewife from New York. Cole was named in honor of Rachel's biological mother, Chaya Clara, in Sagan's words, the mother she never knew. He had a sister, Carol, and the family lived in a modest apartment near the Atlantic Ocean, in Bensonhurst. During the depths of the Depression, his father worked as a theater usher. Sagan claimed that his sense of wonder came from his father. In his later years as a writer and scientist, Sagan would often draw on his childhood memories to illustrate scientific points, as he did in his book Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors. Sagan describes his parents' influence on his later thinking. "My parents were not scientists. They knew almost nothing about science. But in introducing me simultaneously to skepticism and to wonder, they taught me the two uneasily cohabiting modes of thought that are central to the scientific method." Sagan thinks that one of his most defining moments was when his parents took him to the 1939 New York World's Fair when he was 4 years old. The exhibits became a turning point in his life. He later recalled the moving map of the America of Tomorrow exhibit. It showed beautiful highways and clover leaves and little General Motors cars all carrying people to skyscrapers, buildings with lovely spires, flying buttresses.
A lightning bolt epitomizes man's harnessing of electricity. In this plaza of light, the nation's foremost companies present the magic of today that paves the way for the miracles of tomorrow. Symbols of more power to you and all the world. Signposts are the marvels of the modern electric era. A man-made Niagara features the building that houses the electric utilities display. Here is emphasized the forward march of America, resistless as a torrent's flow. Through a transparent tunnel, visitors emerge directly beneath the roaring waterfall.
Soon after entering elementary school, he had a strong interest in nature. Sagan recalled taking his first trips to the public library alone, at the age of 5, when his mother got him a library card. He wanted to learn what stars were, since none of his friends or their parents could give him a clear answer. "I went to the librarian and asked for a book about stars. And the answer was stunning. It was that the sun was a star but really close. The stars were suns, but so far away they were just little points of light. The scale of the universe suddenly opened up to me." At about age 6 or 7, he and a close friend took trips to the American Museum of Natural History across the East River in Manhattan. While there, they went to the Hayden Planetarium and walked around the museum's exhibits of space objects, such as meteorites, and displays of dinosaurs and animals in natural settings. Sagan writes about those visits. "I was transfixed by the dioramas, lifelike representations of animals and their habitats all over the world. Penguins on the dimly lit Antarctic ice, a family of gorillas, the male beating his chest." Sagan went to David A. Boody Jr. High School. 1948, his family moved to the nearby town of Rahway, New Jersey. For his father's work, Rahway was an older industrial town. Sagan entered Rahway High School. He graduated in 1951. Sagan was a straight-A student but was bored due to unchallenging classes and uninspiring teachers. His teachers realized this and tried to convince his parents to send him to private school, the administrator telling them, "This kid ought to go to a school for gifted children. He has something really remarkable." This they couldn't do, partly because of the cost. Sagan was made president of the school's chemistry club, and at home he set up his own laboratory. He taught himself about molecules by making cardboard cutouts to help him visualize how molecules were formed. Before the end of high school, he entered an essay contest in which he posed the question of whether human contact with advanced life forms from another planet might be as disastrous for people on Earth as it was for Native Americans when they first had contact with Europeans. The subject was considered controversial, but his rhetorical skill won over the judges, and they awarded him first prize. By graduation, his classmates had voted him most likely to succeed and put him in line to be valedictorian. In 1958, Sagan participated in a military project, which was called Project A-119. This was a top-secret American Air Force project to send a nuclear bomb to the moon. He published an article in 1961 in the journal Science on the atmosphere of Venus, while also working with NASA's Mariner 2 team. In the early 1960s, no one knew for certain the basic conditions of Venus' surface, and Sagan listed the possibilities in a report later depicted for popularization in a Time Life book, Planets. His own view was that Venus was dry and very hot as opposed to the balmy paradise others had imagined. He had investigated radio waves from Venus and concluded that there was a surface temperature of 500 degrees C, 900 degrees F. As a visiting scientist to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, he contributed to the first Mariner missions to Venus, working on the design and management of the project. Sagan was among the first to hypothesize that Saturn's moon Titan might possess oceans of liquid compounds on its surface and that Jupiter's moon Europa might possess subsurface oceans of water. This would make Europa potentially habitable. Europa's subsurface ocean of water was later indirectly confirmed by the spacecraft Galileo. The mystery of Titan's reddish haze was also solved with Sagan's help. Sagan died from pneumonia at the age of 62 at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle, Washington, on the 20th of December, 1996. The burial took place at Lakeview Cemetery in Ithaca, New York.